supervillains in the house.
All right, so today's episode we're going to talk about AEW's latest pay-per-view, Full Gear, which has now been told this is going to be the annual fourth quarter pay-per-view, and also they discuss about their plans for next year, for 2020, and of course a brand new title is coming out. We're also going to discuss about the latest interesting that happened with NWA, and of course week 7 of the Wednesday Night War. So put your cell phones away and get ready to watch Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up. 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 Get up, get up.
All right, Nico,
Yes.
I know you didn't watch Full Gear, but you heard some things, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I enjoyed it. You know, I didn't order it on the BR Live actually. Someone posted it somewhere to download.
What?
Yeah, don't ask me where or how, but it was a good pay-per-view.
Nice.
So let's just throw this one out of the way. The buy-in, there was only one match they actually throw in.
It was
B. Priestley versus Britt Baker. First, I felt hype about it because of the rivalry that they had, but it didn't feel like the match that it should have been. You know what I mean?
I saw highlights from it, and it seemed like it was pretty decent.
Yeah.
What was wrong with it?
I think the problem is like you were seeing this rivalry between the two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It dates back all the way to the Fight for the Fallen, if you recall. That's the thing that kind of got me pumped to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't felt like the rivalry that maybe many of us were expecting, because from what I understand, it received a C.
Well, maybe they just fell short on the build up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could have like featured a little bit more within the Dynamite show. Like, you know, it kind of lacked vignettes. You know, like you said, like the backstory and all that stuff. All we really know of it is what happened at the Fight for the Fallen. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but after the match, when Britt Baker won this match, we just had a little shocking surprise. The return of Awesome Kong, and by her side, Brandy Rhodes.
That's right.
She just shows up out of nowhere, stalking her, gives B. Priestley that little backhand move that she normally does.
Yeah.
And Brandy cuts off a piece of her hair.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Kind of like a trophy, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what the angle is, but it's kind of interesting to see. You know, because if you guys don't know this, you probably ask you why there's this dynamic between Brandy and Awesome Kong. Behind the story is that they known each other since the Performance Center.
Okay.
And nobody was talking to Awesome Kong, or should I call her by her real name, Kai Stevens. No one was hanging out with her or training with her, but Brandy had the courage to go up to her. And they always thought about working together. And now that they're no longer with WWE, it was a perfect opportunity to make it happen.
Kind of like similar to, who was it? Sky's running with the Bucks.
Yeah. So I have to say this is an interesting story that they're building up with the two. You know. So let's move on with the first match on the main card for Full Gear. It starts out with, of course, the intense rivalry between the Bucks and Proud and Powerful from the Inner Circle. And of course, we all know the Bucks have been declaring themselves as the best tag team in the world, and of course, you got Proud and Powerful claiming the same way.
They're both not wrong.
No. Basically, the problem is, you look at the Bucks, they're the ones who had to earn the way to get it.
Right.
And then you look at Proud and Powerful, they felt like they have to take it. You know? So it was like a interesting matchup, going back and forth. Into who's going to make the pin, who's going to make the win. And of course, sadly, it turned to be Proud and Powerful. But it wasn't over. Sammy Guevara shows up, vlogging the whole thing as always. And then they gave them a beatdown, but they got a little surprise from Rock and Roll Express. So they showed up. I don't know if you saw this or you. Ricky Morton gave Santana the Destroyer.
Yeah, he hit him with the.
You saw the reaction with Jim Ross. Was saying, "I love rock and roll. You never get too old for rock and roll."
That's right.
But it was like a great moment to see one of the greatest tag team of all time helping out the younger generation of tag team. Because they look at the Bucks, they're like, you see them, they're like the similar styles, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know, because basically the Bucks were influenced by the Rock and Roll Express.
Rock and Roll Express, the Rockers, a little bit of, yeah.
Yeah, so it was even though I was going for the Bucks, but they didn't get the win, but at least they got their moment with the Rock and Roll Express.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the grade. So let's move on with Hangman Page. Hangman Page versus Pac. As you all know, this is a rivalry that dates back since the AEW launched.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going back and forth with the fight between the two. I think they're calling this a rubber match or something?
Yes.
Well,
no, the rubber match was the Dynamite after that.
Yeah. So basically, we're seeing like more of a series between the two.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had Pac already faced Page at the first show, Dynamite, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Page lost that one, but now then this one was coming up, and I was like thinking, okay, I don't know if there's a part of me that's telling me that Pac is gonna win this one. I wasn't sure until it was over, and Page finally got his win, and I'm like.
Did he? How was the finish? Was it with the buckshot lariat or the Deadeye?
Deadeye.
Oh, awesome! I haven't seen him finish with the Deadeye in a while.
Yeah, so there's that, and it was a good match. I'm not gonna lie about it. I mean, because I think the rivalry between Pac and Page is so like an ongoing war between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's move on with Spears versus Joey Janela.
How'd that go?
As always. You know who helped Spears out?
But of course.
You know, the Four Horsemen himself, Tully Blanchard. Mm-hmm. So, this is like, you know for a fact that Tully was going to be there. And you know he will do anything to make sure his protege wins. Because, like I said, I called Tully and Spears the Palpatine and Darth Vader. Because if you ever look at it, it does look like they're that Star Wars thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I was gonna tell Tessa about that if she ever thought of that when she sees her dad with Spears, because it would have been, she probably would have had a kick out of it. But yeah, it was like usually Spears won the match, but it was far from over. But we'll explain that in a little bit. Then we got SCU versus the Lucha Brothers versus Private Party. A triple threat match for the AEW Tag Team Championship.
Right.
Basically, we love these type of tag team matches, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because it keeps the intensity going.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, people were saying, okay, the Lucha Brothers might win this one. Because I think because you and I can say this right now, it didn't matter who was going to win. But when you add Private Party, that's like, okay, we don't know if they can actually win this one because they're the new kids on the block.
Right.
But don't get me wrong, they are very talented.
Oh,
Even Vicky Guerrero became a fan.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because if you guys are a fan of tag teams, you know what I'm talking about when you see Private Party, when they're doing their thing. You know, but, of course, the winners, as always, retain their titles, SCU.
SCU.
But Lucha Brothers, especially Cero Miedo himself, was about to take out Frankie Kazarian.
Is there any mentioning of SCU or any other future trios in
Nope, but I'm going to explain that after we're done talking about the full gear. I'll explain to you. This is something that came out post-match. They're not going to do the no free bird rule.
No Freebird rules.
I'll explain that in a bit. So anyway, lights goes out. You see another pentagon.
Mm-hmm.
And it was CD himself.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the fallen angel marking on his eye. If you guys are not familiarized with CD, with Christopher Daniels, he had a different name back in TNA, which was made him famous, called the Fallen Angel.
Yes.
So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, if you have the Impact Plus, there's an archive of that footage. So you should check it out. But it was great to see CD back. And I think he has an axe to grind with Penta for what happened the last time.
Oh, yeah.
Because originally it was supposed to be Daniels and Kazarian in the tournament. But Sky actually stepped up to the plate. Substituting for CD. And of course, now he's back. He's not done with Penta just yet. Then we moved on to the women's championship match, which was student versus teacher. Rio versus Emi Sakura. I mean, this was a match that to me felt like, okay, these two know each other. One trained the other. But who will come out on top? And during an AEW Dark interview, Hikaru Shida gave her thoughts who was going to win this match. And her thoughts was Emi Sakura. Even though, if you guys don't know this, Hikaru Shida was also trained by Emi Sakura. And she was from another class before or after. I don't know. I'll look it up when I get a chance. But, man, Rio really impressed me so much with her size. I mean, people can say what they want about Rio, but no one could question her big heart. I mean, you've seen how she is, right?
Yeah.
And, of course, she took the win on this one. And after the match, Emery embraced knowing that Rio has finally made it to where she needed to be. Because I know people doubted Rio since they first met her, but now I think those doubts are done. And I can't wait to see what Rio is going to do next, because we know there's a lot of people that want that title so bad. I can give you a list, but it's going to be a long list. Then we move on to the AEW World Title match.
Right.
Jericho versus Cody. And of course, everybody knows they were voting for Cody. But of course, the stipulation was if Cody loses this match to Jericho, he won't get another shot at this title ever again. This was like a story that kind of was brought the attention because, if you recall, Cody's also the EVP of the company.
Right.
People say that, he'll take advantage of it. It didn't seem like it did. People can say what they want, what they think they want to believe, or what they want to know, but this is nothing like that. They want to make this fair and square for everyone, even if the ones who are the top executives. That includes not only Cody, but also the Bucks and Omega. And of course, you saw Cody's mom was right there. She slapped Jericho.
Saw it.
Yeah. And then right before the match ended, we saw MJF throw in the towel. Which was kind of weird because we saw something like this before with Cody from back with the Bullet Club days. He tried to do the same thing with Kenny, but he didn't get the chance. And now MJF did that. Out of nowhere, he turned on him.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of expected.
Well, yeah, that's planned.
Because we all known MJF has always been a heel.
Well,
right from the start, because the way he plays it pretty well.
They had to do the MJF turning on Cody, because then it just doesn't make sense for a heel to be on a face's side. There's gonna be kind of friction with character development in that. So it had to happen.
Yeah. And then finally, the Full Gear ended with the lights out unsanctioned match, Moxley versus Omega.
Wait, it was the unofficial main event?
Something like that, yeah. But
why?
Because this one doesn't matter about the wins and losses.
Yeah, but it still shouldn't have been at the top of the card.
I don't know. but it was a brutal match.
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube.
It was like you never seen Kenny in this type of match before.
Mm-hmm.
From the time you known him from Japan or his early days being here in the States before going to Japan. But he had to take it to a different level if you saw it.
Yeah.
But if you saw Being the Elite, you saw what was going on, right?
Yeah.
He was telling Matt and Nick that he had something cooked up, and of course they did not want to get involved. And then here comes Paige, and they can't watch this. They're like, I can't watch.
Yeah.
And of course, Kenny was telling them to bring out what the surprise he had, which was the barbed wire spider web.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, he was about to do the one-winged angel right on him, but it backfired. They were like trying to go back and forth to try to dodge each other, but Moxley got the upper hand, and he kind of picked him up, and they both went on the barbed wire. The backdrop, I'm like, oh, damn. And you can see the reaction from everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you guys don't know this. Renee Young was not happy with this match. I was like thinking, I hate to piss off the wife. And I'm like, and then there was that moment that I did like, is where Kenny V-triggered Moxley right through that prop right there.
Mm-hmm.
That was classic right there.
Oh, yeah. No. Not necessarily classic, but just when I thought I've seen everything in professional wrestling, out comes the mousetraps.
Oh my God!
Let's not forget about the mousetraps. The
mousetrap. We got the mousetraps. We got everything,
yes.
All the dirty toys we can think of. Not to mention, he removed the mats from the ring.
Oh yeah.
I
think that was a good. Idea, removing that from the thing, because of like how much blood and like it wasn't so much the blood. It was the glass.
Mm-hmm.
It was the glass. Actually, no. Well, that takes away from my whole idea. I thought the whole idea of taking all the stuff off of it was for the next match, but you said it was at the top of the card, so it kind of takes away my whole idea of why they removed the whole thing.
Yeah. So, but that's how it ended. Moxley took the win, but of course, like they said, unsanctioned match does not count your wins and losses. But I don't think Moxley cares because he just wanted to beat him.
The only thing I don't like about that match, and pretty much the only thing that I don't like about AEW, is what's his name? Excalibur's commentating skills. I think he. It really pains me that he's with two legendary commentators, not learning anything from them. Like, if you pay attention to that match, Excalibur called a sit-out powerbomb a spine buster, and then he called the flowing DDT that Kenny Omega did to Moxley a paradigm shift, when in fact a paradigm shift is a double underhook DDT. He's just being lazy. I really don't like that. That really gets to me. Like, that he was calling names of the things wrong. And you're working with two legends. You should be learning shit. Like, I don't know. I'm really, really critical on Excalibur's abilities as commentator with having them two.
Well, you got to remember
Tony Schiavone and JR.
You got to remember Excalibur was a single commentator with PWG, but he'll probably pick it up sooner or later. But we'll see.
Hopefully sooner.
Yeah. Now,
he's trash.
After Full Gear, Tony Khan revealed plans for next year of 2020.
Yes.
He said not only that Full Gear is now part of the 4 pay-per-views they're going to do quarterly in AEW. He said there is one that's coming up at the start of the year. Don't remember the name, but I hope they make more announcements.
Right.
But he did say he would like to take AEW to Canada and to the UK.
Right.
I mean, which is a good place to go more to distant places, because we have seen, like, other than WWE, we've seen Impact have done things like that, and so has Ring of Honor. But it's a good way to expand the product to other locations, because I know that the fans in the UK will love to see them. I know that the fans in Canada will like to see them too.
Oh yeah.
So we'll just keep plans on keeping tabs on that. They say not only they want to do just live events there, but maybe hopefully pay-per-views there too. But we'll just wait and see what they're going to throw. Now, we talked about the whole thing with the tag team.
Yeah.
It's now confirmed, and they said this, SU said this Post-match,
Mm-hmm.
there is no Freebird rule.
Okay.
Now, if you guys don't know what the Freebird rule is, you may have heard of the stable faction called the Fabulous Freebirds, back from NWA.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think there were 4 of them, right?
3.
3 of them.
Yeah.
Basically, what happened
With
is...
the manager.
What basically what's happening is, if you have a 3-man team, and there's 2 of them who are the tag team, if one cannot be there, then the other one can step in. Basically, it's been a rule that's been played out by WWE many times over.
Yeah.
You look at the New Day, they have done that before. But now, someone asked SCU this question. Are they going to do this? And according to Daniels, no. They're not going to focus on doing that rule. And I feel like they want to step away what WWE are doing.
Right.
Because how many times we have seen people decide to use the Freebird rule?
Ironically, Bullet Club.
Well, they call it the Bullet Club rule.
It's the same shit.
Yeah, but they don't call it the Freebird rule.
Ugh.
But yeah, I mean, do we really need to see more of this
No.
with other companies? I feel like it's a good move out of their part, knowing that let's just step away from that because let's focus on the 2 guys who are currently the
I think it's a
champions.
good idea in a sense where, like, for example, Moxley dropping the U.S. IWGP title. That would be the same case for a tag team title if, like, they couldn't compete. But it's a good idea to have a Freebird rules when one person is legitimately can't compete because of travel issues or injury. I think that's a good idea for that to have a step in. But to just have a Freebird rules just for the just because you can, like, nah, I don't think you should do that.
No. And then finally, let's talk about, they just made this announcement, the mid-card title.
Yes.
Which is, this came into our attention on the last episode after we were done filming.
Right.
They talked about this. I mean, I know there have been fans talking about this for quite a while. Because we were aware they were going to have a world title, tag team titles, and women.
Mm-hmm.
But what about like another title?
Mm.
And this is one that now it's becoming officially, it's coming out. So, I mean, do you think this is a good idea to have this title?
Oh, most definitely.
Because I know we've seen, like, there's too many titles WWE has, but they're all like the same type.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're trying to keep this very simple. And they said this mid-card title, they want to make it matter more.
Yeah.
The same way they want to matter with all their titles. Not like
Oh, yeah.
try to say, oh, this is the lowest title, this is the middle title, this is the top title. No. All titles mattered.
The TV title should be a title that could be defended by anyone of any weight class, and it should also be defended on TV on every televised event.
Yeah. So I'm excited for what they just done for these plans. You know, what they're going to do for 2020, and also making an interesting move with the Freebird rule, and of course the mid-card title. So I'm excited for what is going to happen now.
Yeah.
It's like they're now working their way out, like trying to say this is what we want to do, what we don't want to do. So I feel like they're running on the right track for themselves. So we will discuss in a little bit the one for Dynamite on the Wednesday Night War segment, but stay tuned for more, and we'll be right back. All right, Nico. As you all know, New Japan has been making some interesting events here in the States.
But of course.
You know, because we all know they're going to have the little New Japan Pro Wrestling of America here soon, but we're trying to figure out more. But they're throwing shows regardless for the fans here in America. We just had this past Saturday around the same time as Full Gear, the New Japan Showdown in San Jose, California. Which is, of course, an interesting show to watch. And I watched it. I know you watched it.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get started with the first match. We had the Young Lions. And they're both from here.
Yeah.
Well, not San Diego,
LA
but
Dojo.
LA Dojo.
Yeah.
Ren Narita. And
Well, Ren Narita just...
yeah,
moved
but now
to-
he is now with the LA Dojo.
Yeah, he just...
And
moved to
Alex
LA.
Coughlin. I mean, what are your thoughts about this one?
Alex Coughlin, I think he's Fale Dojo. No, Michael is the Fale Dojo. Yeah, you're right. It was all right. A couple of young lions getting their shot. at doing stuff.
Not to mention Ren Narita now with the LA Dojo. Moving from Japan to LA was a move that he chose, that he wanted. Because we all seen like the Young Lion Cup not too long ago.
Right.
And Carl Fredrickson actually won that one.
Yeah.
Ren Narita wants to join the LA Dojo because he knows he can learn great from Shibata.
Yeah. Carl Fredrickson is someone that everyone should be paying attention to right now.
So, yeah. And, of course, this match, Ren Narita picked up his win.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, I think, what's his name, Kevin Kelly? He asked Tiger Hattori, who was commentating with him, saying, do you think Shibata is proud that Ren Narita won this match? And I think he probably said yes.
Yeah.
Because I know Shibata gives his own feedback about his young lions, what they're doing, what they're doing wrong. Because I know they're learning very well from them. Because you can tell Shibata is a great instructor.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he was great in the ring back in the day, but now he's more of a teacher since that injury put him in the side. Now let's jump into tag team matchup. Colt Cabana teaming with his good friend Toru Yano versus Alex Solo, and of course the last time we ever get to see him in the States, Yushin Thunder Liger. Thoughts of that match?
That match is a little preview of of the things to come. I feel like the team of Cabana and Yano, they're going to be the spoilers of the tag league, and I'd be really looking forward to seeing much more of those crazy kids.
I mean, you look at Cabana and Toru Yano; they're like the comedians in their own right. We've seen Yano face some of the interesting wrestlers. I think right now my three best matches with Yano that I liked, one was with Kenny, Sonata, and Naito, and two of them
Moxley. Come on now.
and Moxley, of course. Forgot about that. If you guys haven't seen those, you gotta watch those matches, because Yano he's a bit of the comedian of how he's trying to get away with everything.
What makes him dangerous is that he's a comedy wrestler with an amateur collegiate wrestling background.
That's true.
So he could distract you with all the funny shit and jokes, and then get you with some technical shit out of nowhere, much like Colt Cabana.
Colt Cabana, another comedian. He has this interesting way. Have you ever seen him? Whenever you try to get to your face, he goes, "Stop!"
Yeah.
He just gets you out of nowhere. Like that. I mean, the first time I saw that was with Sammy Guevara. And he tells everybody, "Too easy." He tried to do it again with Sammy, but he's like saying, "You're so stupid," and Sammy gets him back. But you got to be careful with Colt, because you may never know what he's going to do. But ever since those two met in Ring of Honor, they became good friends.
What does he call that pin? The Superman roll-up?
Yeah. Don't ask us why. But but he has used that on a lot of occasions. But seeing Toru Yano and Cabana together, they're like one unstoppable comedic force.
Oh yeah.
But you're right. This is a team we got to pay attention during the World Tag League that's coming up soon. So hope you guys get to see this, because even though they took up the win, this is like an example of what they're going to do. And I hope everybody who's participating in World Tag League are taking notes.
Oh, yeah.
And they keep an eye on those two. And then, of course, after the match, this was the sad day for Liger fans. Was the last time we get to see him here. Because we have been hearing this is his last year. And he had a great match with Minoru Suzuki.
Epic.
And they're gonna. If you guys wondering when is his official date of retiring, that's gonna take place on January 4th in Wrestle Kingdom, right? Like a ceremony.
It's January. The match would be January 4th. The ceremony would be January 6th at New Year's Dash.
Okay, so pay attention to that. If you guys don't have New Japan World, subscribe to it. Probably you don't want to miss it. Then we got the next matchup. Another tag team matchup. Suzuki Gun members Minoru Suzuki and El Desperado versus Clark Connors, and I think he had teamed up with another young lion, Carl Fredrickson.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because kind of Mario Shinobi got injured, right?
Yeah.
After his last match.
Yeah. And you can tell Carl is not afraid to get down with Suzuki.
Right.
Because if you've seen Suzuki, how he is,
Oh, yeah.
you don't want to be caught dead right in front of him.
Well, you don't want to. You don't want to be dumb enough to get into a punching match with him.
No. I mean, we've seen those who tried, but there is one we get to see, and I hope they put him in the match with him.
Some Moxley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, New Japan, put those two together.
Well, first he has to go against Lance Archer.
Oh yeah, that too. Then
So they might tease us with a little bit of something.
Yeah, so Suzuki-gun, Minoru Suzuki, and El Desperado took the win. Now let's jump in with... six-man tag. We got TJP, The Juice, and who was it? Oh, yeah. And Ishii versus Bullet Club members Jado, Ishimori, and I think Kenta? No. Wrong group. LIJ, actually. Bushi, Sonata, and Evil. So, you've always been an LIJ fan. Like, what do you thought?
It was cool. That was more of like it should have been quicker. The match should have been quicker than it was originally done. I didn't really see it as like an important match to pay attention to. I see it as like just a way to display all their stars in San Jose. I don't really remember who won.
It was TJP, Juice, and Ishii. They won that match. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ishii got the pin.
Yeah. And then we had the next matchup, another 6-man. We got Chaos members Rocky Romero, Sho, and Hiroki Goto versus Bullet Club members Jado.
Not Gato.
No. Well, Gato's on the side as always.
Oh, okay.
It's Jado.
Oh, okay.
The other one.
Yeah.
Jado, Ishimori, and of course, Kenta.
Yeah.
We all know the Chaos and Bullet Club always had a rivalry from who knows how long. But of course, Rocky has an axe to grind with Jado, who he considered was a friend, and now he betrayed him.
Oh, both of them. He calls them both Fredo. Fredo 1 and Fredo 2.
Yeah, but of course, Rocky got the pin on Yado.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Yado wants to face Rocky.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't think Yado would appreciate being embarrassed by him. But you probably ask yourself, why wasn't Sho there? Well, there's a reason why.
Because his main event with LP.
LP put his British Cruiserweight title on the line. Which was a great thing because we have seen Sho and Yo becoming a great junior tag.
Oh, yeah.
But what about individually? That's something we got to pay attention to as well. And also a curiosity.
Yeah, they kind of got eliminated early in the best of the Super Junior singles when they participated. I don't know if it was this year or last year's, but yeah. I honestly thought Sho was gonna win. I'm not gonna lie. I was so going, but nah.
No. Yeah. But I have to say, Sho really impressed me.
Oh yeah.
Not only it's because sometimes we can say, okay, he's great as a tag team, but what can they do as a single competitor? That's one of those key things we got to pay attention to.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've seen that with many tag team wrestlers that have done single competitors. But Sho really impressed me a lot. I mean, I was sure he was going to win this title just to embarrass El Fantasma.
Oh, yeah.
But, of course, he had to show up again. Ishimori.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice. Someone needs to put a leash on him or something. Then we continue on with the IWGP United States title.
Oh, that was epic.
Lance Archer versus Dave Finlay. Now,
Return from injury, by the way.
Yeah, the idea with this match happened was Dave Finlay came out to help out Juice. Because Lance Archer's been now unleashing all kinds of hell with anybody who gets in his way, especially Juice.
Everybody dies.
Yeah. And, of course, Finley knew he couldn't just let his friend, be destroyed by Lance Archer.
Right.
So Lance Archer did not appreciate Finley getting in his business, so this match was set up. I mean, it was a great match to see Finley, because we all know who he is. We know who his dad is. But this is like another opportunity to see him, what he can do.
Yeah.
Away from who he is, away from what he did with Juice.
Yeah.
And, that's one of those key things.
Not just a tag team guy.
Yeah.
Basically, Finley and Lance Archer has the same story of 2009. They're trying to break away from the whole, I wouldn't want to say tag team stigma, but the whole idea of being a tag team wrestler. They both want to show that they are singles competitors. And Lance Archer's single run this year is my favorite. One of my top favorites so far. I love me some Lance.
Yeah. And, of course, Archer took the win on this one with the claw, as always.
AVP claw.
And, of course, Juice came out to help his buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And Archer gave his statement saying that he's not worth it.
Mm.
He doesn't want to deal with Juice anymore, even though Juice wants that title back.
Mm.
But we'll see who's going to face Archer.
Moxley.
But, yeah, if Moxley beats Archer, I would like to see what he's going to do. Because this is going to be one crazy epic match between the two. Then we jump in with the boys from LIJ, Takagi and Naito, versus Bullet Club members Owens and White.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this whole thing with White and Naito has been escalating, that they both want to be double champions.
Yeah.
This has gone far enough, But, as always, Naito claims this is destiny.
Right.
And White wants to claim this is what he wants, what he needs. So we're still getting close to that time. And it's going to take place at Wrestle Kingdom on the 4th, right?
4th and 5th.
Well, whoever wins the 4th between White and Naito will go to the 5th.
Yeah.
So that's how it's going to be. And, of course, the winners for that match is Takagi and Naito. And then we go to the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Will Ospreay teaming up with his buddy and leader of Chaos, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Kazuchika Okada, versus the Golden Star, Kota Ibushi, and the infamous Amazing Red.
This was one of not really that much of a Amazing Red fan, but this was one of his better matches. The match that Will and him had at those other shows, it was
the Super J Cup.
Those were all right. Like they weren't I feel like it wasn't as hyped up, but like they just looked a little bit better in this match right here.
Yeah. I think the thing is I know there's been a lot of fans that would love to see Red.
Yeah. I
mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Red is one of those wrestlers that decide to have him for the American shows that they have. Solely for those, Because I know he has done shows in Japan years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing a tour with All Japan Pro Wrestling, and he got injured on his knee, and it put him out of action for a long time. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're going to do for him, that he will be part of the American shows that they're going to have real soon here. But it was a great match, seeing both teams facing off. And, of course, we know who the winners are, Ospreay and Okada.
Right.
But let's think back about Okada. As you know, he's not taking this whole thing lightly of double champion.
Well, no, he doesn't really care. Because, if you see him from, what's it called? Was it the end of Power Struggle? Mm-hmm. At the end of Power Struggle, he was talking to the fans in Japan. And I was like, what do you guys want to see? You guys care about double champion? Or you guys care about who's, the definitive champion? And the crowd really didn't really pop for any of that stuff. They just cared about who is the top guy.
I mean, we have 4 who are right now in the running to do that.
Oh yeah.
But the real question is who's going to be the one to take all on the 5th of January. That's the key question that's going to come up. Because you said we got Kota Ibushi, a real Cinderella story about him, who right now has came back after from that fight he had with Naito, but now he's actually full time with New Japan. He actually won this year's G1 Climax, and then you got Naito, who he has like this dream of becoming double champion because he feels it's his destiny, and then you got White, who can't stand people getting in his way, trying to be the top, like feeling that's his spot, who will take anything that he sees that he feels it belongs to him.
Well, I could see it going two ways. I could see Kota Ibushi doing what no one's done since 2000 and winning the IWGP at Wrestle Kingdom, but losing it the next day to Jay White. And Jay White being the double champion. Or I could see Kazuchika Okada beating Ibushi again and finally getting Naito and fucking and Okada part 2 and Naito going over. Those are like the two ways I could see that happening.
Yeah. Well, we just gotta wait and see and pay attention to the upcoming events that are taking place soon.
Or Okada beats everyone and is the supreme IWGP champion of all.
Yeah. So that is what we got for the New Japan Showdown. But before we end the segment, as you all recall, we talked about Kenny Omega being banned from Japan. New Japan president Harold Mage made it perfectly clear that they're not banning Kenny Omega or anything.
Right.
I mean, the problem is this. Kenny said that this is in his recent trip that he was stopped the last time. Like, we all know he was there only on DDT business, not New Japan business. Mm-hmm. So the real question is, okay, if New Japan is not stopping them, then who is? Who's saying it was New Japan? I'm like thinking maybe someone saw it and they gave possibly the wrong impression.
Rumors?
Yeah. Well, you know how rumors are. You know, sometimes they're all a bunch of baloney. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking maybe someone saw Kenny being stopped and gave it the wrong impression. You know what I mean? Because in order to ban someone's country, you have to have like a sort of like an approval from the government or something. Well,
New Japan Bushiroad does have that type of power with the Japanese government.
Yeah. So basically, I don't think if Harold Mage saying that they're not doing that, then maybe it's because someone maybe thought the wrong impression. I think the issue is we're seeing New Japan don't want to have a relationship with Kenny.
Right.
That's kind of like, okay, it's already out there. It's already been placed. There will be zero chances that AEW and New Japan will work together. But if they're not doing this, then I don't think there's any problem for them to have Kenny making business with DDT at all. Because you got to remember, New Japan is one of the top Japanese promotions right now. You know, because right now they've been making a lot of good headways over the years. You know, including Bushiroad buying Stardom.
Right.
And they're gonna have their women's division hopefully soon. We just don't know when it's gonna happen because we may see them in a New Japan platform. So that is it. What we got for New Japan. We'll continue on with the show, and we'll discuss any new information we know about New Japan, or if there's anything about this whole thing with Kenny. And of course, we will keep tabs on the World Tag League that's coming up soon. And like I said, pay attention to Cabana and Yano.
Yeah.
All right, Nico. I'm well aware you did not see MLW, but I can tell you what happened.
I'll catch up.
Okay. So as you all know, we had the super fight that took place.
Yeah.
And sadly, Kingdom has fallen. We're talking about Promociones Dorada, Selena De La Renta's group. And she got speared through a table by L.A. Park, which was an accident.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That is what happened.
It was an accident. He was trying to aim Joseph Samael, but he moved out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Contra Unit shows up. Originally, it was supposed to start with Timothy Thatcher versus Low Ki.
Right.
Now, Contra Unit, all 4 members come out claiming that they defeated and destroyed a kingdom.
Mm.
But now that they are on top of the world, as Jacob Fatu, who is currently the MLW world title,
Mm-hmm.
he's now claiming he wants all the gold. He just made it clear to the Von Erichs that they want their titles. And he has an offer that they cannot refuse.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know what the offer is, but we just got to wait to see for the upcoming Fusion episodes they're going to throw in. But he also has his sights set on the MLW middleweight title. And he called Teddy Hart nothing but a little bitch. Which doesn't go well for Teddy.
Wait, he wants the middleweight championship, or he wants it in the Contra Unit.
In all the titles in the Contra Unit.
Oh, okay. Because for a second I was like, how? I think he's in the wrong weight class for the.
Actually, I can see. No, yeah, but I can see Hikaru Kwan.
Yeah.
As the middleweight, and I can see Joseph Samael and Gotch as the tag team.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's how I
Is
pictured.
Simon Gotch too heavy for the middleweight?
I don't know, but I do see Kwan as that guy who.
Well, yeah, that makes the most sense.
Yeah, so that's why I pictured all 4 of them. Like, okay, we got Fatu as the world title. What titles can all these 3 other individuals can have? I see Kwan. He's perfect for the middleweight.
And then who has the what's the championship that Alex Hammerstone has?
The national openweight championship.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if they're exactly if one of them is going to get it, or I could think of the obvious, have another Contra Unit member.
We just have Jacob Fatu as double champ. With all this double champ going around.
Yeah. So there's that. And of course, the Hart Foundation did not take it lightly with Contra Unit. You know, talking smack about them. And as the Hart Foundation, we know them past and present. Mm-hmm. They'll get into a fight.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, they try to stop the match, the fight by the officials. But come on, it's not going to end well anyway.
Right.
Then we jump into the match that was supposed to be there. Was Timothy Thatcher versus Low Ki. Now, if you guys don't know who he is, he's like one of those grappling fighters.
Yeah.
He's good at it. And then you got Low Ki.
He's an MMA background.
Yeah. And then you got Low Ki. We all call him as the professional.
Oh, yeah.
We all know his reputation. You know, excellent striker, grappler.
He's an all-around guy.
Yeah, all-around guy. Not to mention, he has a nice voice for a voice acting job. But, as always, I always love to see Low Ki what he's going to do when he's in the ring. I mean, you can throw in an MMA fighter in front of him, he'll try to figure out a way to get around him.
Right.
That's what Low Ki does. He's, like, very technical about what he's going to do.
Mm.
And, of course, as always, Low Ki took the win. And then we jump in with, who was it? Oh, yeah, they are now getting a Bellator MMA fighter in their ranks.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
King Mo.
Yes.
So they made a press conference that he will make his appearance in MLW. I just don't know if they already made the announcement or it's coming soon. We don't know. But we're now seeing all these MMA fighters making their way, mostly. Like, mostly from Bellator, we're seeing them coming out, but not going to WWE. Mostly we've seen UFC going to WWE, mostly.
Yeah.
Which makes more sense.
UFC going to WWE, and then where did Jack Swagger come from?
Bellator
with the other guys.
I think Bellator can have fighters go to any other promotion.
Yeah.
I mean, which was work well. And then then we got the main event for that one, which was 2 matches, but this one was interesting. Myron Reed versus Teddy Hart for the MLW middleweight title.
That was the supercard?
No, that's like after.
After that. Oh, okay. Because I thought it was Teddy Hart versus Austin Aries.
He won that match.
Yeah, he beat him already. Okay.
But
then he fought again?
Yeah, but this time with Myron Reed from Injust.
Same night?
Different night.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. Damn.
Okay, so this is
put it in double word.
Yeah. This is interesting because the Injust have always been complaining to the MLW officials about they feel like they've been cheated out over and over. And of course, Teddy Hart, being Teddy Hart, he was just going to beat him out like always.
Oh, yeah.
And out of nowhere, guess who showed up?
Huh.
Just take a guess.
Someone from Injust?
Nope. Contra Unit.
Contra Unit. Oh.
They cost him the title. And of course, Injust were happy that they finally got gold, but sadly, I don't feel it's going to last long.
Oh, nah.
Because right now, Contra Unit has their sights on that gold. Imagine if they did get like one of them gets fireball in the eyeballs by Samael, and they're going to tell the officials that they need to do something. They're not going to do anything because they're scared of them.
Well, with all of Injustice bitching and complaining, I could see them joining Contra Unit.
Well, unless Joseph Samael has an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah.
You know, because that's basically how, I don't like to say criminal organizations, but that's how we see them in the movies.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, my whole thing is, I'm only saying that because I don't like the Injust gimmick. They're all excellent wrestlers. I've seen, what's his name, Justin Oliver?
Yeah. No, Oliver Jordan.
I've seen Oliver Jordan in real life wrestle. He's a nice wrestler. I just don't like their Injust gimmick. I think it's corny as hell coming out with prison jumpsuits.
Yeah, so So right now, we just don't know what's going to happen for next week.
Yeah.
But we do know Contra Unit is out to conquer MLW, which is going to be kind of like another version of NWO, but much aggressive. If you've seen how they act, you know, with the fireball and the mist that they throw in, or sneak attacks from behind. So pay attention to MLW for the upcoming weeks, what Contra Unit is going to do, and hopefully someone stands up to them. But for now, let's just keep on moving. Man, NW is now making...
Into the fire.
I'm falling. I have to say, this episode that came out of NWA Power, I think this is one of my favorite ones.
It's a show. It has... Alright. Let me just say everything that I need to say about
Let it out.
NWA.
Let it out. Let it out.
Dude, it's a TV show, and it's so great. It's in the studio. It has the audience. It has the commentators. It has silly-ass commercials in between. They have their own silly-ass commercials. It has all the ingredients for an excellent dramatized TV show with a bunch of dudes and women fighting. Like, I just think it's like... pretty good show they got going on right there.
Yeah. So the show started out with the Rock and Roll Express coming out, giving their support to Outlaw Inc., which consisted of Kingston and Homicide, because they see two young wrestlers who are not like the wild card, who are pretending. They say that they are the best tag team. You know, being all cocky, making sure.
Whack as fuck.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. And then you see Kingston and Homicide coming out to happy, knowing they got a good support by one of the greatest tag teams of all times. So it's great to see these guys, like past and present, uniting together for one night.
Oh yeah.
And then we jump in with the first match, Trevor Murdoch versus Caleb Conley. You know, this is an interesting match because you see. We know who Trevor Murdoch is. Mm-hmm. We know his reputation from WWE. And then he got this new guy, Caleb Conley. A different type of style that he has away from what Trevor Murdoch does. But I have to say, I'm not saying old school is the best. You do what you can to make the win. And that's exactly what Murdoch did. You know, because he delivered a great matchup against Caleb. And giving his final blow, the Bulldog, that never gets old. You know, and of course, Trevor took the win, and then we jump in with... Oh, I hate this guy, too. Aaron Stevens. Still complaining over what happened for the first...
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah. So you can say goodbye. I think he can't stand the humiliation of Ricky Starks.
He quit. And then everyone did what's that song called?
Na na na.
Oh, I know that. What is it called?
I don't know.
Like I never did that. Google it.
Then we have a women's tag team match. with Thunder Rosa
The God.
and Marty Bell versus don't know who these women are. We had Crystal Rose and Brooklyn Creed.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's still like people are starting to question, why did Marty Bell join Thunder Rosa to begin with? If you guys haven't seen 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
Allison Kay, the current NWA Women's Champion, said something to Marty Bell that kind of made her upset. And of course, Thunder Rosa shows up trying to have her join her.
Oh, yeah.
And then last week, Marty Bell decided to take it out to vent it out her frustrations, what Allison Kay said to her.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Allison Kay tried to be her friend, like thinking this is not Dr. Phil, but
Right.
Thunder Rosa's not going to let her, ruin her moment.
Right.
Marty Bell had every right to say what she wants, even if she has to say it out loud. And of course, we saw what Marty Bell did. She attacked her.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we saw a great in-ring between both Thunder Rosa and Marty Bell.
Yeah.
Well,
what I saw was what I saw outside of the ring, not just inside and outside of the ring. The whole dynamic with Marty Bell and Thunder Rosa is Thunder Rosa has she's an in-ring technician, and she can kind of help Marty Bell there. And with the promos, Marty Bell's a little bit more better at talking than Thunder Rosa is. So they got that kind of going on.
Yeah, and even though they gave their thoughts after they won their match,
Yeah.
about, Marty Bell said why she joined Thunder Rosa, and she said she's her future.
Mm-hmm.
A future that Allison Kay she felt that she's been denying her. And of course, Thunder Rosa told that she sees a vision of a phoenix or something.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure what that's all about. It feels like one of those X-Men type of stories.
I would say she's rising from the ashes of whatever what she's trying to get out of the shadows of what's her name, Allison Kay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what she means by the vision of the phoenix. This future with Thunder Rosa is is rising from the ashes of something old.
So we still haven't heard yet what Allison Kay had to say. Because I know she's not thrilled about what just transpired. And of course, we all want to know what she has to say about Marty Bell's betrayal.
Mm.
That's what she sees. But of course, we know Marty Bell's side of the story.
Who's the number one contender for the women's?
They haven't said yet.
Not yet.
But I'm assuming Thunder Rosa is trying to help her get to that. That's what I am assuming. Then we jump in with Colt Cabana making his presence known, happy how he beat James Storms for the national heavyweight title. All happy. And then here comes Ricky Starks. You don't know what he was doing. It kind of brought you just couldn't stop laughing. But you know what Ricky Starks was looking at.
Oh, yeah.
He wants what Colt Cabana has.
Oh, yeah.
The title. I mean, that's what everybody wants. So we don't know if there will be a possible match between Ricky Starks and Colt Cabana. But do you want to see that?
Yes.
So NWA, please make it happen. I got to see that because we can't just have people hold on to titles forever.
Right.
Then we jump in with
Just go around.
question mark versus Dan Parker. I don't know where this character come from. I feel like someone built him out of a wacky cartoon show.
Well, history says that Ric Flair was the Black Scorpion once.
For real.
And what's it called? Rick Rude was the masked wrestler in what's it called? ECW. All we gotta do is just figure out who this question mark is.
Well, I'm gonna see what they're going with this one because it's like people are like, "Who the hell is this guy?" Which is great, because you may never know what it's gonna happen.
I think it's that Josephus guy.
Well,
I think.
I can't picture that anyway. Then we jump in with Eli Drake. Again, stirring the pot. This time, going out of his way telling people that what is up with Camille. Because that's what most of the episode has been about.
Mm-hmm.
About Camille. If you guys don't know what I'm referring to, let's go back to the very first episode.
Yeah.
As you all know, there was a matchup between Nick Aldis versus Tim Storm for the NWA World title.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Aldis accidentally clotheslined Camille. Intentionally, it was supposed to be for Tim Storm.
Right.
But Tim Storm ducked down.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, forgot who was that commentator who was trying to get an interview with Camille. She didn't say a word. And there was a speculation the following week thinking that Nick Aldis was holding her back.
Mm.
And of course, Nick Aldis was assuring to everyone he's not holding her back.
Right.
That she can speak out of her own free will.
Mm-hmm.
And he proved that. But there were still more questions going around, like, why hasn't she spoken?
Mm.
And of course, we jump into the latest episode with Eli Drake, he has that crazy mentality where he's saying that Camille thinks that Eli Drake's going to beat Nick Aldis for titles. Like, he's just stirring the pot right there.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden we see the wild card shows up, not appreciating Eli Drake's getting to something that doesn't concern him. You know?
Mm.
But of course they will not appreciate him being there, wasting time while they're putting their titles on the line against Outlaw Inc.
Yeah,
And they're trying to tell him to shut his mouth up. Then out of nowhere, here comes Mr. Anderson, telling the world he has the biggest mouth. I mean, he does have the biggest mouth. But you got to ask yourself the question between Eli Drake, who's stirring the pot, versus the guy we know who has the biggest mouth throughout the years. Who would win between the two?
Mr. Anderson, I'd say.
Yeah. So I say put those two in the match and see who has the biggest mouth of them all. I would say they should do that. Then here comes Nick Aldis giving his thoughts about the company, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about saying you have to have honor to be in the NWA. That's the only way you're going to have a title opportunity. That's what he sees in himself and others, because he's been in the same category with Harley Race, God rest his soul.
Right.
Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat, some of the best wrestlers like that. And that's what he is trying to do. I think that's the thing that what Eli Drake has been questioning. He thinks that, he's ducking. It was like, Nick Aldis looks at Eli Drake, you're nothing but a loudmouth prick.
Yeah.
That you think you claim you earn a title shot. You know? So that's what he sees in him. But he's saying, if you want a title shot, then show me you mean it. Don't try to talk about saying you want a title shot. You know, that's what he wants to do. And then he made it clear that he was going to be sitting right in the front watching the tag team match.
Oh, yeah.
And making sure there's no funny business. Because we know the wild card how they are, or the Dawsons showing up out of the blue, tried to stop a match because they want those titles too.
Mm-hmm.
And then we jump in finally with the main event between the Outlaw Inc., Kingston and Homicide versus the wild card. And of course Nick Aldis is there. You can see him. He was like enjoying the match, but also making sure no one gets in the way, tried to interfere in the match.
I wanted Outlaw Inc. to win so bad.
Me too. But sadly, after the wild card won, we see Camille. We don't know what she was trying to do, but I think, even though I do believe Nick Aldis is not holding her back, but I think he's trying to stop her from embarrassing herself.
Spilling the beans about something that we don't know.
So I think the more questions we're asking, the more things are becoming curious. Like, you get people coming out left and right about everything. You see Eli Drake, the wild card. You see the Dawsons. You see Cole Cabana, Mr. Anderson, Storm. They're all coming out trying to find out.
Well, it was fitting because what was the title of that episode?
More questions.
More questions than answers.
Because the thing is, we don't know much about Camille. Like, who is she? Why she won't talk? You know, because we now know Nick Aldis is not holding her back. But what's holding her back?
What's causing all this?
Like, yeah, that's the questions that everybody wants to know, and they want to hear it. I mean, we got Eli Drake going out saying he thinks that she knows what she's talking about, but in reality, we don't. We don't know what goes on in her head. What is making this whole thing with NWA interesting. You know, we don't know what goes on in her head, but we do know she was brought in as an insurance policy, making sure there's no funny business during Nick Aldis' matches. You know, because if you saw with the match with Nick Aldis against Marty Scurll, she was almost trying to hurt Marty, but Nick Aldis stopped her. That wasn't her job. Her job is to stop the funny business, not put yourself to do something stupid.
Right.
That's what he was trying to do. And Camille kind of got upset over that. And now, we don't know what Camille is doing right now. I mean, she did show up last week, making sure Colt Cabana won. You know, because James Storm lost focus. We just don't know what is her deal with not talking. What is really going on in that pretty little head of hers? Well, like the episode said, we got more questions than answers. So we just gotta wait and see next week what's gonna happen, because I have a feeling it's not over.
This is merely the beginning, my friend.
Even though we're seeing great stories coming out of NWA, Thunder Rosa and Marty Bell, you know, making their presence known, saying the Phoenix is rising and it's gonna take place.
I'd like to see Thunder Rosa against Camille.
Oh yeah, that would be a great match. And then we got the whole thing with the tag teams where the wild card are being disrespectful. They don't want to put the titles on the line, which is showing what Nick Aldis was talking about. They got no honor.
Have they put together the matches for their December pay-per-view?
There's still no information yet, but I can say this: it's been confirmed. Fight TV is going to broadcast their pay-per-view. So here's the deal: you can pre-order now. It's only $20, but pay it on that day. It's going to be, or after, it's like $25.
$5 more. I could do that. I can still do that.
To me, I don't think it matters to me right now.
I just want to know who's going to be in it. Who's going to be.
I think they're currently trying to build it up.
Yeah. Well, clock's ticking.
Yeah. So we'll be back more with MLW. Like I said, we still got more questions and answer about Camille, and we're gonna
NWA.
With NWA. So we still got to see what's gonna happen with Camille. We still don't know what's going on in that Ediverse. I'm curious. You're curious. You're curious. That guy over there is curious, or that spider over there. So we just gotta wait and see. So we'll be back with more on the NWA. So let's keep on moving. Go.
Yes.
Week 7 of Wednesday Night War has just passed.
Oh.
So, let's just get this out of the way. Who won Week 7? And surprise, surprise, the winner is AEW. 7 weeks in a row.
Merely the beginning. This is still merely the beginning.
So, here's the views in case you people over there watching want to know what it is. AEW got 957,000. NXT 750,000. Interesting. So you're probably wondering, how did that happen? Well, we don't know. I mean, I have to say both shows were good. But like we always say, it's up to the fans. The fans are the ones that make the final say. So let's jump in right now with the winners of the Wednesday Night War. AEW Dynamite. So it starts out with Kenny. We all know what happened to him in Full Gear.
Well, he wasn't cleared to compete for a week.
I mean, he looks all brutal. Like all messed up. I mean, we never seen Kenny in this type of match before. But I have to say, it kind of brought in a different side of him that we never seen before.
Well, I haven't seen it, but I believe Kenny used to have matches like that with Coda back in DDT.
Yeah, but I think they were more brutal than that. More brutal than what he's ever done. And I think Michael Nakasawa can see that too. And Rio, I think too. Because you saw those two, their reaction about how it turned out. Yeah. And then we jump in with the first match. Michael Nakasawa versus Moxley. And Michael decided not to do the oil thing.
I don't know. He wanted to display how serious. I almost fast forwarded this match right when I saw Michael Nakazawa. Then when I saw Moxley, I was like, okay, wait, no. Let's watch it. Let's slow down. Let's watch this shit.
I mean, I think Michael wanted to avenge Kenny.
Well, yeah. Let's go along with the storyline. That's his homie. I mean, it's not like Riho can like go up against Mox.
No. I mean, she could stand by his side, but being in the same match with him, no.
He'll fold her up and
and of course, as always, Moxley took the win.
Yes.
But he was not done yet. He actually had something to say. He said he gave Kenny his respect. That what he did at Full Gear took him to another level.
Like, he cut a really good promo. I like that.
Oh, yeah. But he did say he's not afraid to do what Kenny did, and he would like to see someone who has the cojones to challenge him. So he made it clear to the locker room that he's issued an open challenge to anybody, doesn't matter who, if they have the cojones to step up. But we will reveal who was the guy who stepped up in a little bit.
Moxley, his promo, is Moxley a heel or a face?
I can't tell from the look of him. I feel
just from the crowd pop, I'm seeing him as a face. Like,
I feel he's a tweener.
Yeah, that.
I can feel that's what he is. Then let's jump in with tag team match. Dark Order versus the Jurassic Express, Marco Stunt, and Jungle Boy.
I definitely fast forward that shit.
Okay. Well, I'll explain it.
Go for it.
Basically, it was a great match. Seeing two of the smaller people.
Oh, Luchasaurus came back.
Oh, yeah. I'll get to that. Yeah. Two of the smaller individuals facing two of the biggest ones. Mm-hmm. I mean, they throw in some great moves, what they're going to do, but I was still keeping my eye on those creepers.
I just don't like the Dark Order. Like, Jurassic Express, I like Jurassic Express because I get it. I get their thing. Like, I get what they're trying to do over there. It's awesome. And then the whole return with Luchasaurus coming back, that deserved the pop that it got.
I think Jurassic Express, in my opinion, are the rising stars in today's wrestling. Because people can say what they want, saying, okay, why you got a guy dressed up as a dinosaur? And what do you got a guy who looks more like he thinks he's Tarzan? And a smaller guy. Like, not like an...
Well, that's the... Like, it's kind of like... Well, they need that to draw the younger fans. Mm-hmm. Like, because every wrestler doesn't necessarily, like, relate to everybody, but they're going to relate to someone.
Yeah, if you look at Luchasaurus in his past, he used to be with WWE, but it was during the dark time for him because it wasn't working out for him. Yeah. But since leaving, he's now made a name for himself. And ironically, the name Luchasaurus came from the late Dusty Rhodes. Mm-hmm. And that name finally is now on Cody's payroll because he felt welcome back to his side.
Yes.
Then you look at Jungle Boy. We all know who he is in real life. Mm-hmm. He is the son of the late Luke Perry of the Beverly Hills 90210. Ironically, Luke Perry is a Dusty Road fan. Mm-hmm. And of course, Jungle Boy and Cody can actually relate, knowing they have two famous fathers. Mm-hmm. And then you got Marco Stunt, a real small guy. Like, we all know his backstory. Like, people say he's too short, he looks like a kid. I'm like, yeah, but...
I thought he was a child.
But he's not. He actually is he's 23 years old, but he has issues where he can't grow.
I thought that he was, who's the kid that won the tag team championship with Braun Strowman?
Yeah. But if you guys are curious, you guys can watch the room service with them because they already set up. It's really great to see. I think everybody wanted to talk about everybody's life story. You know, but so watch that video. That's pretty interesting. Then let's move on to Darby Allin versus Sean Spears versus the Liberian Peter Avalon.
Oh yeah, it was a triple threat. Go for it.
Well, we all know Joey Janela still has unfinished business. Mm-hmm. And he took Spears out. Well, not out cold.
He took him out of the
picture.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great match, but also this led to another promo by Darby Allin. Mm-hmm. He accepted Moxley's challenge. And I think people are like, can't wait to see this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just to let this out for everybody, this isn't the first time those two have faced before. You can see this match on the Northeast Wrestling. You can either buy the DVD or see if someone uploaded somewhere.
Right.
But they're keeping this away from that because right now this is AEW. It was a good match. I saw that match that they had in Northeast Wrestling. So, unofficially is part 2. You know, but officially, this is the first time they're putting them together. You know what I mean? So, we got to pay attention to that match. And then we got Nyla Rose versus Danny Jordan. So, we all know who won that match. So, we don't have to go through the whole thing. Nyla Rose won that one.
Oh, yeah.
So, let's skip that one. And then we got Allie shows up, doing her little thing. And here comes Awesome Kong and Brandy.
Yeah, they did that.
They did the same thing what they did to B. Priestley. Cut off a piece of her hair. It's still unclear what is going on with those two. It's clear they're in business, but it's still unclear what is going on. Are they putting all the women's division on notice?
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever. And then we jump in with Jericho and MJF.
I popped for that one. Yeah. That one was hilarious.
So basically, Jericho's all happy that he beat Cody, and then MJF gave his side of the story.
Yeah.
Why he turned on Cody. He claims that Cody has been holding him back, which was not true. I mean, he was trying to teach him some things.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they'll keep going back and forth, and then they brought... Then it's funny where Chris Jericho tell him, I think your parents were having this and that, getting horny, while I was having my match with Juventud Guerrero.
Yeah.
Who is Hoovy? Google it, baby. Google it. I mean, that was so funny right there. And then, of course, here comes Cody. Not going to take any of this crap from both. He looked like he was about to take them both, but out of nowhere, we have been seeing this guy made headways that he's going to make an appearance. We're talking about this guy named Wardlow, MMA fighter as well. I don't remember if he was from Bellator or... Well, I'm going to say Bellator. You know, let's keep it as that way because we've seen mostly wrestlers from Bellator showing up. And of course, he nearly tried to choke out Cody with the tie. So that's how the whole thing ended with those two. We still don't know, because we do know Cody was not cleared to wrestle after the events of Full Gear. Then we have...
Well, that end of that angle left me with the question: Is that a member of the? Are them two new members of the Inner Circle, or is this going to be them, or is this going to be?
To
MJF
me, I look at MJF. In my opinion, he's not going to just stand on the side and let Jericho have all the fun, like saying, "You're the champion. I want that title too." He always claimed that he has the given right to become champion.
Oh yeah.
So now that he has Wardlow, I think he can form his own faction if he wants to.
I would rather see that.
But they do have, but both MJF and Jericho do have something in common. They both hate Cody.
Oh yeah.
So that's the one thing they have in common. But MJF has this mentality he can do better than everybody else.
Easily.
And he can actually form his own faction. Yeah. You know, all he has to do is find the right guys who are willing to join him. That's what he would do.
You're saying that he could start his own dynasty?
Yeah, or another type of version. We just don't know. I just don't know if MLW owns the right to the name.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, he could start his own dynasty.
Yeah. Then we jump in with another match of a series between Pac and Hangman Page. You know, there was, like, some great in-ring flying from Page. I'm like, but we do know Pac what he was going to do in the end. That was that one move that he was mostly, that we all know he's going to do. The Brutalizer, that's what he calls it?
I believe so. This, in my opinion, this was the better match of the trilogy between them two.
I feel like, I think this is going to be a long rivalry between the two.
Oh, yeah.
Because this whole thing started down at the first rally they had in Jacksonville when they first launched. So I think maybe Pac sees as Page as like, you're not championship material. Like, he looks at himself that he is. So that's probably why they're going back and forth at this. And of course Pac took the win on this one with that finisher maneuver, the Brutalizer, as always. Then we go out of nowhere, the brawl between the Bucks and Proud and Powerful.
Ah.
I mean, this was like a fight feud that's been going on to prove who is the best tag team in the world right now. I mean, we've seen that with the Lucha Brothers, but Santana Ortiz always claimed that they were the best. And you saw how this fight was going. But I'll never forget the one segment that made me laugh so hard. Nick was about to slam Santana through the door, but Santana reversed it. Nick hit the door. In there, Orange Cassidy. In the bathroom. And you can saw the reaction when everybody stopped. Like, the comments was like, in the bathroom. What the hell? And you saw the look at Santana. He's like, looking like, what the hell is he doing in there?
Close this door. Forgot all about that.
I mean, I saw on Twitter, they asked him what was his reaction. He's like, saying, who chills out in the bathroom? I don't think Orange Cassidy cares about the smell. I think he's just there, just whatever.
Nah, my favorite part was the spot with Brendan Cutler.
Oh, yeah. I mean, before that, they put Matt Jackson through the table and they whacked Nick with the socks with the baseballs right through the foot. And then Brandon Cutler, who's good friends with the Bucks, tried to beg them to stop. And of course, you see Ortiz going, "We lied."
Guess what? We lied.
Yeah, and then they will still continue with the beatdown, but here comes Private Party, who had enough of Ortiz and Santana with this whole beatdown.
Right.
You know, because it's like they're trying to prove that they're the best. But Private Party was like saying, they're trying to say, so what if you're the best, you know? Like, maybe they're trying to prove a point. But it is confirmed for next week. Private Party will face Proud and Powerful in the match. And I predict the Bucks are going to get their retribution. I can guarantee you that. I predict that. And then we end the night with the main event. SCU versus Inner Circle's Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara with Hagar in tow. So, Jericho was telling the world he was going to be double champion. You know. And of course, CD was right there with Sky and Kazarian, as always. But we just didn't know what was going to go down. And, of course, we were seeing some great moves from Scorpio Sky, as always. I'm like, wasn't sure how, but here's the thing. We were close, we were like cutting it close with the time limit. As you all know, they had this thing called they cut off at a certain point, but they said if they actually can't show it on TV, they'll try to show the rest on YouTube.
Right.
So that was the original plan, what the plan they were trying to do if they cannot finish this match in time. Because it's the same thing we saw in All In with the Bucks and Ibushi versus Phoenix, Bandito, and Rey Mysterio last year. So I wasn't sure if they're going to make it on time or not because they were cutting it close. But the best part, at the end of this match, Scorpio Sky pinned Jericho.
Oh, yeah.
Not by a move, but this was a move that's been done before. And Jericho was in disbelief that he can't believe that he got pinned. I can guarantee you that Jericho is not going to take this lightly.
Right.
I think he's going to have his retribution on Sky, not SCU. Because Scorpio Sky is now becoming a household name today. You know what I mean? Because we all know Kazarian and Daniels have been attacked him before. But Sky is now the one guy and the one member that people are talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't mind seeing Sky with a title of his own, you know, if they decide to, like, to drop the tag team titles.
Yeah.
He goes for either the TV title or the world title, you know. So,
I'd like to see Sky and Beretta against each other in some singles.
yeah, that would be a great match, too. So
I'm
that's
sure they had it in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Someplace.
Yeah. So that's how the AEW Dynamite ended. So let's go on with NXT. And I think it starts out with the Cruiserweight match.
I fast forward that.
Yeah, so, but of course, But it was a interesting match, in my opinion, since you fast forward to it. Angel Garza did something stupid.
What did he do?
He took off his pants right in front of Leo's family.
Why?
To intimidate, to piss off Lio Rush.
Took off his pants. Like, what do you mean?
He takes off his pants, you know.
Oh, you mean like Tai Chi?
Yeah.
He just... What the hell?
It's because he wants to prove that that title belongs to him. Because Garza comes from a legendary family.
Which family?
The Garza family. His uncle is Hector Garza.
Where were they from?
Mexico.
What?
But his uncle was also in WCW
Who
back
was?
in the day. Yep.
And who were they?
He was part of the Latino World Order.
Ah, okay.
So Garza felt like this is his destiny to obtain the title.
Mm.
But every move Garza has done on his repertoire wasn't working.
No.
So he's in disbelief, so he's desperate.
Yeah.
But Lio Rush, out of nowhere, with all the strength in the world, he comes out of top.
I don't like his
But there
face.
was a moment, it looked more like Garza had his foot on the ring, on the ring ropes,
Yeah.
but the ref didn't see it.
Mm.
And the winner was Lio Rush. Now, my guess is this was a botch, but they might have to do another match with those two.
Mm.
Like, I'm going to assume Garza's going to protest on this one. And then, of course, we may have a rematch of sorts between Lio Rush and Angel Garza for the Cruiserweight title. That's what I see on this one. And then we jump in with the first attack of the night.
Ah, yeah.
Out of nowhere, we seen Tegan Knox
Laid
and
out.
Leia Ripley on the ground. Now, it was still unclear who it was. I'm assuming it was Shayna Baszler or something.
Mm.
Because we know how she's trying to take them out.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere. So, that's how it was. No one knew what they saw or they saw anything. Then we continued on with the next match, which was Xia Li versus Aaliyah.
That was an epic match.
But also with the price.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what I'm referring to, Xia actually got Aaliyah good, right in the nose, and she was bleeding out right at the end. You can see, like, that other person who's with her, and the doctors and refs were checking up on her. I don't know if it's an accident or there was a mistake that was done. We just don't know.
Mm.
But we do know on the injured report she has a nasal fracture or something.
Mm.
So we just don't know how intense this was, or she's going to be out of action for a short time. We just don't know yet, but we do hope she recovers well. Then we moved on to Finn Balor. He's going out saying that he cannot stand Gargano being the heart of the NXT.
Right.
Due to the fact that we know Finn Balor was the one who put NXT on the map. And out of nowhere, here comes Matt Riddle getting his retribution on Finn Balor for the previous week, where he actually got him good on the ground. When there was that match between Ciampa, Riddle, and Lee against the OC. And he wants a piece of him.
Mm.
And of course, Balor ran to the hills. And of course, Riddle was calling him a coward. But out of nowhere, here comes Undisputed Era, trying to take their target out. They were trying to take the advantage to take him out. But here comes Ciampa and Lee having his back. But of course, Lee had something on his mind.
Yeah.
He told him that they're not going to deny that he took out Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins.
Right.
But he wants to see if he has the guts to take him on. And Roderick decided to speak on behalf of Adam Cole. So there was a match between those two, Cole and Strong. No, Lee and Strong. And both teams took the back. But you think that was enough to stop Lee?
No.
They even tried to take him out, but it didn't work. But out of nowhere, Balor took out Riddle again.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so crazy how it turns out. Since Lee took the win, it became on 4-on-2 match while Riddle's down on the ground.
Yeah.
But out of nowhere, here comes Dominik Dijakovic.
Mm-hmm.
It was unclear what was going on. But at the end, Ciampa...
He's the fourth man in the War Games.
Actually, Riddle's out.
Yeah. So they got a... Oh!
Let me explain that. We still don't know who is the fourth member for Ciampa's team. We do know Ciampa's in it and Lee, but Riddle has his sights set on Balor. He wants a piece of him. Mm-hmm. So Dominik Dijakovic took Riddle's spot.
Yeah.
But the fourth member is still unclear. We don't know who is going to join, but I do predict is Velveteen Dream.
That makes sense. That's who I was thinking of from the beginning.
Yeah, so that's my assumption. But if you guys have any ideas who could be the fourth member, leave a comment. I want to know. I want to hear your opinions. I don't care who it is, but I want to hear it. Then we jump in with another attack. This time with the other two members of the Horsewoman.
Yeah.
And of course Candice LeRae. And then when I saw those two on the ground, I was like thinking, okay, I can rule out Shayna Baszler.
Right.
But later there were people saying, it's Dakota Kai. Because she was still upset with Rhea Ripley for not putting her on a team. She picked Mia Yim instead. And we just don't know for sure if that was the case. If she took them out intentionally. Then after that, we jump in with Pete Dunne versus Killian Dane, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, no. Like I was excited too.
Yeah, and later they were interrupted by Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Who still has an axe to grind with both men.
I was kind of expecting Steven Regal to come out with what's it called? Just make it a 3-way.
Well, we don't know yet if that's the case, but I do predict in the next event they will have is a triple threat. That's my assumption. So, I would go with that. And then we jump in with the Io Shirai and Mia Yim. Now, this match was an interesting one. If you guys don't know where we're going with, this is more of the event. They call it the advantage match.
Yeah.
Basically, this is the one where they get the numbers game. So basically, this is how it goes. Io Shirai can come out, and then you got Mia Yim. Bianca Belair can come out, and that kind of thing. Basically, who has the numbers gain on this one? That was the whole point of the match. But of course, before the match, Dakota Kai showed up, telling Mia Yim she has her back.
Right.
But there's still those people that believe she was the one initially made the attacks. But we just were watching the matches, how it was going. Of course, we were going back and forth on this one with the ladder. I mean, this is like one of those matches that the women's division in NXT took it up a notch.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, people can get hurt in these type of matches.
Yeah.
But I have to say the NXT women's division between Io Shirai and Mia Yim took it up a step.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, because we don't see this at the main roster that much.
No, not really.
But they did. And of course, as we thought Mia Yim was going to take the match, we got the NXT UK Women's Champion, Kay Lee, shows up, giving Io Shirai the win. And you saw Mia Yim went through the damn ladder.
Yeah.
Broken in half. And of course, Io Shirai got the briefcase. Here comes Shayna Baszler celebrating, knowing that they finally got the match. Out of nowhere, Bayley attacked Baszler from behind with the chair and then slammed her right in front of her title. That makes you wish and wonder, was it her who made those attacks?
Oh, easily.
Shayna Baszler said that she's going to keep her eye on Bayley, but going to assure to everyone, I don't think she was keeping an eye on her that well.
Nah.
And I'm going to assume this coming SmackDown, which is today, and by the time I upload this tomorrow, Shayna Baszler and the rest of her crew are going to make their attack on Bayley and possibly the rest of the women's locker room in SmackDown. That's my prediction. How about you?
I don't know. I don't really watch SmackDown.
But do you believe that's going to go with that?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's how the match ended. But afterwards, Mai Yin also ended up on the injured report. She also had a nasal fracture too. And there's this a clip that they posted where her boyfriend, her real life boyfriend, Keith Lee, shows up to check up on her. You know, of course, any boyfriend would be worried for his girl doing a match like this. I mean, we know Keith Lee has done these type of matches. Yeah. But it seems like she's okay, but we still don't know yet if her injury's serious.
Right.
But we just hope that nothing is serious, that she can get back in the ring. Because I know many people want to see her at the War Games. So that is it, what we got for the Wednesday Night War. Even though I have to say there were some good matches from both sides, and AEW took the win. Mm-hmm. But like we always say, and everybody we hear from all over social media, it's all about what the fans say on this one. So we'll continue more on the Wednesday Night War, see who wins that one. But I'm going to predict AEW might win this one, if that's the case. But before I go, I hope Vince actually took Bischoff's consideration what he said.
What happened?
Before Bischoff left, if you guys know, Vince asked Bischoff his opinion about AEW, about what he thought of it. Bischoff said that the event was great, the matches were great, but he did say something that it's the interaction with the fans, how the fans are enticed throughout the matches, you know, when something drastic happens. And we don't see that much with that with WWE. But he did say something else that I feel he's right. With NXT, you're not going to get the same kind of reaction that AEW is doing right now. With NXT doing studio, mostly.
Right.
So, is there any consideration right now by Vince that he wants to have NXT do tours now, like they do with the main roster? There's been talk about that, but we just don't know if they're gonna go for it. Because, you know, I don't know, because the thing is that, like, I know fans would like to see that. I know they do live shows, like house shows mostly, on tours, but never live broadcasts.
Yeah. Well, when Raw first started, it was always in New York.
Mm-hmm. So we just got to keep an eye on that. So we will continue more on the next night work on the following week and see how this one goes. I'm excited what's going to happen for next week for both AEW and NXT. So we'll be right back for more, and stay tuned. One, two. Nico, you had known me. I like to talk about promotions that I just find out. Now, this promotion I just recently found out. And this promotion is not anywhere in Japan, or Mexico, or here in the States, or in Canada, or in the UK, Europe. Can anybody guess where this promotion I'm talking about is coming from? Say uncle if you guys give up.
Where could this be?
Well, I'll just say it right now. South Africa.
Oh.
The name of promotion is called Slam Force Africa. Now, I know there has been some promotions in South Africa, but this one is relatively new. I don't know how long they've been active. I'm going to assume they started this year. But they have some interesting roster that they have who are now participating, and these wrestlers are well known throughout the wrestling world, especially here. One of them is the whole effing show, Rob Van Dam. along with his wife, Katie Forbes, the $1 billion babe.
Mm.
And of course, we have other wrestlers that we do know. One, former Divas champion, Caitlyn, now going by Celeste Bonin. And of course, PJ Black, formerly known as Justin Gabriel, who's also, get this, he's a South African native.
Mm.
So, Nico, what do you think of this promotion from South Africa?
I don't know. I haven't seen.
Well,
any
you
clips.
should know. They announced it a while ago. I should call her Caitlyn, even though we're still getting used. I'm still trying to get used of her name. She is the first ever women's champion for that promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, people say this about promotions, like, why is it South Africa? You know, why not? It doesn't mean have to be here in the States,
Right.
or in Mexico, or in Canada, or anywhere else that we do know of. It could be anywhere. We're seeing wrestling in Australia,
Mm-hmm.
New Zealand, Singapore, Taiwan, even China. It could be anywhere, you know? So,
It's a global force.
yeah. So basically we're getting, like, I like to call it, the resurgence. You know, all over the world. Like, everybody wants a piece of it. You know, about, what was it? 2 years, no, was it last year? Last year, I didn't even know there was wrestling in Costa Rica, where my dad is from. And the Bucks, Cody, Zack Sabre Jr., and Naito, they all went to that promotion.
Mm.
You know, now it's becoming like a force to be reckoned with all over the world. But if you guys know any promotion outside of the United States or outside of any other countries that we don't know about, just tell me. I like to know about it. I like to find out who they are and what kind of talent they got and what kind of show they can do. Mm-hmm. If you know any, leave a comment, and I'll get back to that as soon as possible. The last thing I want to talk about before we go is CM Punk. I'm going to assume everybody watching this is probably butthurt that
Really?
he is not wrestling.
Why are they mad?
Okay, we all know CM Punk is a household name.
Hmm.
You can agree.
Yes.
I can agree. These guys over here can agree. People have been demanding he returns to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But sadly, it didn't go according to what people hoped for. He decides to do backstage work for Fox Network on WWE.
Yeah.
He doesn't report to Vince McMahon or Triple H whatsoever.
He's a sports analyst for Fox.
Yeah, and I think many fans are upset about this, that they want to see him back. But the problem is this. People are ignoring the fact about Punk's dilemma towards Vince.
Mm.
I mean, look, you and I can talk back and forth on what went wrong between the relationship between Punk and Vince,
Yeah.
as much as we want. But people need to get this straight to their heads. Whatever those two went through, it's not going to happen.
Mm.
Vince claimed that he apologized to him via Twitter, but in my opinion, you could have done this face-to-face.
Yeah.
But we all know Vince, he doesn't do face-to-face. That's his fault. And of course, you and I talked about this, about maybe Cody had that he may have been played a part of. Like, maybe so, but the problem is Tony Khan had an interest in him, but he had the audacity to talk to him face-to-face.
Mm.
But whatever the reason is, Punk made a decision that he wants to shut the door down. Like, he'd rather not be involved in the ring, but be involved around it. That's what he's trying to do. But the real question many fans would probably want to say, are we ever going to see him in the ring? We don't know. I mean, it looks like it may be finally that we're reaching that time. It's like, okay, it's not going to happen.
Mm.
You know, I don't know if people still have their hopes up. Me, I'm not holding my hopes up. I'm just trying to stay optimism about this, because we don't know what Punk is really, really trying to do. If he really wants to stay in like out of the spotlight from the ring and just do an analyst work, that's fine. But if he ever has any intentions to go back in the ring, welcome back. That's what I would say.
Most definitely.
You know, I mean, what do you think?
I think it's great. I think it's great because, like, CM Punk, he's bigger than wrestling. He's proven time after time that he kills it in ring, outside the ring, commentating, wherever it is you put him in ring. I mean, shit. One of his first loves when it comes to wrestling was being a trainer in Ring of Honor. He enjoyed that the most from what I've heard in his interviews. But well, put him anywhere except for an octagon, and he'll do pretty well.
Well, like I said, we just gotta keep an eye on Punk and see what the future holds.
I'm really happy. I'm a really big CM Punk fan.
I guess many of us are.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, we'll just support Punk, whatever his decision is. If he does great as an analyst in sports, then we'll follow him on that. And for all those fans who are butthurt knowing that he's not in the ring.
Are you really fans?
Yeah, I mean, do you really care about Punk being in the ring, or you just don't care about how he feels inside? Because we know he had his issues in the past. And you're trying to ignore that.
Mm-hmm.
Please do not ignore this. I mean, sure, we look at wrestlers as gods, you know, as much as we want. But remember, these are real people.
Oh, yeah.
Real people, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot ignore that.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you ignore that, then proves then you guys are not true fans. You just care about what you want for yourselves. I mean, we've seen that already with many wrestlers. I can put a list as much as I want, but it's not going to happen right now. If I did, I'll possibly post it up sooner or later. So, if you like this episode, leave a comment down below. Click like or subscribe. Tell your friends, your neighbors, your mommy and daddy, your brother and sister. And we'll throw in more stuff for you guys on pro wrestling regarding with New Japan, WWE, or AEW, NXT, whatever we can find. If we have any new promotions that we're finding out now, or if you guys want us to talk about something, or we'll throw in anything, we'll throw it right back to you. But for now, on behalf of Deleted Wrestle Zone, I'm J-Rod.
Nico.
We must bid you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a lovely day.